Hello everyone and welcome back to Wicked Reading. Today I will be reading SCP-1502, the Feeny Stitcher. Object Class, Euclid. SCP-1502 is a humanoid construct measuring 38 centimeters in height. Its body has been crudely assembled from leather, wire, and bone fragments of unknown sources. The head and upper torso are concealed by a burlap sack fastened with metal wire around the object's waist. Unlike the rest of its body, its arms are mechanical and have been constructed from surgical steel. The forearms contain an array of tools, including scalpels and a stitching needle, which can be released on folding appendages and locked into place. The left arm also contains a grasping tool, which has been hooked to a line of thread running to a spool on its back. The right arm can produce a hypodermic needle, which has been connected via plastic tubing to a steel reservoir located underneath the spool of thread. SCP-1502 possesses a limited teleportation ability and is capable of relocating itself instantaneously to the interior of the nearest drawer, chest, cabinet, or similar piece of furniture within a range demonstrated to span at least a 100-meter radius and a minimum observed interval between uses of 12 seconds. It uses this property to enter homes and other residential areas during the night, at which point it attempts to locate the nearest human. If successful, it uses its syringe to inject the subject with an anesthetic, substance of unknown composition that produces numbness, unconsciousness, and paralysis in greater doses. Then it stands nearby, usually on the subject's chest, and performs extensive cosmetic surgery on the subject. The procedure includes measures such as the injection of a concentrated solution containing collagenase and elastase into parts of the face, the severing of severed tendons to cause facial skin to droop, and stitching hair from the subject's head over their upper lip. The inferred objective of this procedure is to alter the subject's appearance to resemble actor William Daniels in his role as Mr. George Feeny in the television series Boy Meets World as closely as possible. The object does not display any sense of preference among age, ethnicity, gender, or any other factors beyond proximity in its selection of subjects, but is limited by species. In testing, SCP-1502 was released in a room containing several sedated animals, including a chimpanzee, a Yorkshire Terrier, and a monitor lizard, as well as a life-size rubber human figure dressed and posed to appear similar to a sleeping adult Caucasian male. The object ignored the reptile dog and mannequin, but approached the chimpanzee and played vocalizations which were unintelligible due to their distortion and low volume, and then walked to the mirror and stood facing it until it was removed from the testing area. Once the surgical procedure is complete, it attempts to escape the premises. In testing, if SCP-1502 was discovered before the procedure began or the effect of the anesthetic substance wore off before completion, the object attempted to distract the subjects using its voice before either teleporting to a hiding place or delivering additional anesthesia. See Experiment Log 1502. SCP-1502's exact motivations in doing this are unknown. Interviews have been inconclusive as the object communicates through the playback of recordings of actor Ryder Strong in his role as the character Sean Hunter from the aforementioned television series. All documented vocalizations made by SCP-1502 have been attributed to existing episodes of Boy Meets World. The source and medium of these recordings is unknown, and they often display degradation in the form of static and pitch distortion. Humans exposed to SCP-1502's ability have been relocated to a local research site to preserve secrecy, aid in rehabilitation, and conduct long-term observation. Termed SCP-1502-1-XX, with each subject assigned a value for XX in sequence, these individuals tend to display depression, loss of identity, chronic fatigue, and little to no desire to return to society. SCP-1502-1-01 through 08 were recovered from the area in which SCP-1502 is known to have operated. 09 through 14 resulted from experimentation with SCP-1502. Of the 14-1 patients who have been recovered and contained, 9 have developed the coping mechanism of identifying as and emulating the character of George Feeny. This decision has no apparent correlation with race, gender, or other factors, including familiarity with the character. Instances -1-12 and -1-15 have never viewed the series and have refused the recordings available to -1 instances, preferring their invented versions of the fictional person. Although this effect shares the properties of a non-anomalous coping mechanism, its exact properties are not understood. -1 instances who have become Feeny identified will request to be identified as either George or Mr. Feeny, depending on who is addressing them, and will tell other -1 instances that they are imposters, choosing varied and inconsistent explanations such as shape-shifting entities, androids, and agents working together with both SCP-1502 and the Foundation. 5 of the instances cannot relate memories of their past before containment. These have been isolated due to their emotional reactions to interaction with other -1s. Addendum 2003. In interviews 1502-2 and -3, SCP-1502 was able to provide classified information regarding the Foundation, including recognition of several employees of the area in which it was initially contained, before relocation to long-term containment and Research Facility 5. Addendum 2003. In interview 1502-Alpha-2, Assistant Researcher Isaac Chen admitted a perceived relation between SCP-1502 and a 26-year-old female employed as an office worker at Area 24. The woman was reported missing on 2002 and is believed to have been in the company of 3 other women at the time, who have also not been located. However, investigations into her and her companion's disappearance by both the Foundation and the local police force were closed due to their inconclusive results. After extended questioning and analysis, it was concluded that Assistant Researcher Chen was uninvolved in the disappearance. Addendum 2004. SCP-1502 is believed to be experiencing progressive degradation of memory. In interview 1502-5, when tests from earlier interviews were replicated, the object reacted with significantly lower frequency and accuracy, and was able to provide much less information regarding the topics it previously discussed. When presented with a photograph of Assistant Researcher Chen and asked to identify the subject, SCP-1502 responded, "I don't know. Something is wrong. My head still hurts. Something is wrong." SCP-1502's speech pattern has also changed. Its voice now contains less distortion, taking on a clear, tinny quality. Use of samples containing the pronouns we or us has diminished in favor of the almost exclusive use of those which use their singular form. SCP-1502 now seems to identify as the character Sean Hunter itself. The reasons for these changes are unknown. Footnotes 1. Similarity in construction materials between SCP-1502 and SCP-1802 suggests a shared origin. 2. Though SCP-1502 prefers subjects which are asleep, it can, with effort, work upon conscious subjects. 3. Known long-term physical side effects of exposure to this substance include facial numbness and tingling, muscular twitches, central nystagmus, partial vocal cord paralysis, graying of scalp and facial hair, and dry skin. Mental side effects are unknown and currently under experimentation. 4. Aired on ABC television from 1993 to 2000. 5. Example phrases used during this behavior: "Everything's great." "This is some of my best work." "Don't find a mirror." "Who are we?" And "That wasn't us." Special Containment Procedures. SCP-1502 is kept in a secure object containment locker, isolated in a cell in the Humanoid Containment Wing of Research Facility 5. An identical locker is to be positioned next to the containment chamber and fitted with a pressure sensor wired to notify staff when activated. Instances of SCP-1502-1 are to be relocated to a dedicated section of Research Facility 5, termed the Daniel Wing, and contained as a collection of humanoid SCP entities. These subjects are to be monitored by researchers for physical and psychological changes.